August the 18th, 4:06 p.m. Detecting Talk of the Day number 2. All you Deus II users that hunt high iron sights needs to watch this video. I have heard back from Elaine, owner of XP Metal Detectors. Okay. And they are going to look, I guess, at the silencer in the version 1.1 and 2.0. Gonna look at it. His team right now, he said, are on summer break. I was gonna wait and do this in the morning, but I'm gonna do it now. Very, very educational. You know, the old sharpshooters actually owned to something, okay? A few questions here I'm gonna throw out. I am gonna do a demo and it will be in this video. If you want to be all you want to be with a Deus II, you need to watch this video. It's educational, and it's not been talked about, as far as I can tell, by no one but the sharpshooter. No fluffy YouTube channel has talked about this, showed this. So here's a few questions I'm going to throw out there, and you all see how you would answer concerning the Deus II. You users of the Deus II, what would you say? How would you answer these questions? Is silencer setting on all non-ferrous targets, is that the most important setting? Is that the driver, the silencer? Yes or no? Number 2, is it the speed of the detector? Is that the driver? Number 3, is it the frequency is the driver? How would you answer those questions? How would you actually rank those if you had to number them even as far as importance? Well, they're all important. This demo, you know, is going to shed light on what could happen to you in the wild. Now, there'll be some people out there say, sharpshooter, this is an elevated test. You're full of shit. You don't know what you're doing. Well, people get to think what they want, don't they? Now, Elaine of XP did mention this, you know, which I already had known to answer this. I knew this. There's a gentleman who put a comment in one of my videos when I was showing version 2.0.0 and its effects with the frequency shift. He said, oh, I went out and made some finds. But some of the targets running it, like you said, run it, some of it turned out to be iron. Sounded good. Okay. Why is that? Well, let's just backpedal here and let's go back to Deus Mono. We can even look at the HF calls on the Deus I. Anybody that's ever used one of those in a higher sight, and sharpshooters got quite a few hours. If you take the HF elliptical call on the Deus I into a high iron sight running that 9-inch call, could you run a disc at 6.1 on that machine? Running it at 30 kilohertz, yes or no? Probably not. You had to dial the disc up some, like about 6.4, didn't you? If we take Deus II, notice the Fast 40 program that comes with your versions. Notice the disc setting on that machine, 6.6. It's not 6.1, is it? That's the default setting for the Deus Mono. So it's 6.6, and the frequency, you know, you're at the upper band frequency on that machine in that Fast 40. Now, where am I going with this? Remember, this multi-frequency, when you're in the upper band, the 40 kilohertz band, depending on where that machine noise cancels with a frequency scan, it's a span of frequency. So believe it or not, there's a chance the machine will give more false positives, we'll call them, at the higher, like channel 5 and 6 versus channel 0 and 1. So your silencer setting, when when it's set, has to cover that entire range of frequency. You notice that? You don't get to change frequencies within a band on that machine and change silencer. You're stuck with whatever you choose. Okay? So here's the final question. And I'm going to be showing version 1.00 in this clip. Okay? I'll even walk you over here and show it to you. But here's something that I've done different. See that US nickel? Do you see that part of that horseshoe? Now I'm going to use version 1.00. Now remember, some of the videos as of late might have been suggesting, oh, version 1.00 doesn't have the flaw or maybe the bug that version 1.1 and 2.0 do. Well, that's not necessarily true. So where am I going with this? Using the Deus II. Can you find a target in the wild running channel 6 that you wouldn't find in channel 0? Non-ferrous target around iron. Yes or no? The answer to that is probably yes. And you will see this in this clip again. But remember, I have used, instead of using version 1.1 or version 2.0 to set up the test, I used version 1.00 to get channel 0 to fail and to get channel 6 to pass. You see what I'm saying? And that's what you're going to see in this video. So stay tuned. Alright, boys. This is version 1.00. Will be the only version showed in this clip. See that big old nickel sitting up there? That part of that horseshoe. You'll see how high I'm going to be sweeping above that nickel. 6.8 disc. Reactivity 2.5. Silencer 4. We're going to be looking at all of the silencer from, I just stopped at 4. I didn't look at anything any higher, but silencer 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Offset at 10. No bottle caps, the notch 6 through 9. So we will be changing silencer in this. We will be going through the 40 max frequency band as such. Okay? So this is silencer 4. Alright? Channel 6. You hear that? Hear that nickel? Channel 5. Channel 4. Channel 3. Channel 2. Channel 1. Channel 0. You don't hear that nickel much no more, do you? Channel 3. Okay. Silencer 3. Back down to frequency max. Channel 6. Channel 5. Channel 4. Channel 3. Channel 2. Channel 1. Channel 0. See what happened? Silencer 2. Frequency max. What we'll just look at is we'll look at channel 6 and 5 and 1 and 2, okay? Channel 6. You hear that? Channel 5. Channel 0. You hear that? Channel 1. Back real quick to channel 6. Hear how much better that signal is. Silencer 1. You see it in the camera there, right? Frequency max, channel 6. Channel 0. You hear that? You don't hear that signal much there, do you? Channel 3. You see that? So the reactivity on that scenario, the silencer, that didn't buy as much on that, did it? It was the frequency. No, and that dude Accurate calls over there. No, it's not noise causing this, okay? It's the frequency goes lower. Now, we'll go on down. I've not even looked at this, and that's an honest disclaimer here, okay? We're at 0 silencer. We're still at 2.5 reactivity. Frequency max. Channel 6. Alright? Channel 0. So channel 6, the 0 silencer there may be helping us a little bit. Silencer 1. Frequency max, channel 0. You hear that? Now I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to change the silencer back to 0. That's all I've done. And that is channel 0. So when we went to silencer 0, that seemed to help. Leaving everything the same in this machine, speed and all that, raising the silencer to 1. What does this sound like? You hear that? Silencer 2, frequency shift 0. But if I go over here and I increase the frequency, silencer 2 to 5, listen. You hear that? So we can say with this machine, and Elaine in his email back to me, he used the term, and he's correct. I've even mentioned this. He said extreme test. So for extreme detecting in iron with this machine, even using version 100, running silencers 1, 2, 3, and 4 for sure, the higher frequency channels have a potential to sneak something, alert you as a user, versus the lower channels. Now, how does this play depth-wise? I can't say. I can only show you that right there. 2x4, and then you know what I'm saying? That's the differences noted in version 100. Changing silencer, changing frequency, leaving speed the same. 2.5. Alright? You see, this has never been talked about with this machine. As long as it's been released, this has not been mentioned by anybody. So with all of these versions, now I haven't looked at 0.6 and 0.71. Probably applies to it too, those two. So you could have, it's probably going to be driving more of your shallow targets versus deeper, okay, for possible detection. But they could be finds out there. Hunting out west in those ghost towns where the sink rate is probably fairly low, you might think about what you're doing with your Deus II, looking for them gold coins, boys, and other what you consider valuable lower conductive relics, and perhaps some other coins. That's a U.S. nickel. All right, you see it there. So we'll see what Elaine's team says, but no matter what they say, we can say for sure using channel 6 and channel 5 on the Deus II and the highest of iron can yield some additional performance at the risk of some iron falsing, additional iron falsing perhaps. Okay? Just remember though, the situation, the detecting scenario has to be there before you would see this. The question is we don't know if it's there or not, do we? That's why we have metal detectors. We can't see in the ground. That's going to conclude the video. I hope everybody has a good evening.